Pisces. It's such an important time right now when it comes to elevation and unity. And that coming from a renewed sense of compassion, going deeper within ourselves, as there's so many mirrors and projections and triggers happening right now in relationships, in situationships, where we might be faced with a lot of emotions, a lot of coming back to old traumas of childhood that you might start to see clearer and clearer, like you have no other way than to see it, like an Ace of Sword energy. Someone talks to you, a sister, a brother, tells you a truth. You say a truth to someone, and at the same time, you listen and you speak, but you start to see how you can be made accountable for whatever happened, or however the other person feels, or however you feel. It's such an important time to learn, to go deeper, and to break through more compassion in general. It could be for ourselves, but it feels here more towards towards getting so rooted into a certain strength, a certain invulnerability that allows us actually, paradoxically, to be more vulnerable, to be more heart open, to help another that perhaps you had still some grudges against, without perhaps being very conscious of it, right? But there are things that are coming to the surface right now, getting to this new year, that are so crucial so that we can get into this very spiritual 2023, which 2, 2, and 3 is 7, which have to do with meditation, contemplation, with really connecting with the mystical, with the higher realms, with God, with the divine, within ourselves. And that means that we're no longer in the judgment. We're no longer in the ego. We see, we observe. We don't attach to a perception, because we're no longer a person, an ego, that attaches to its own perception. So just a lot going on here. And I have a beautiful, simple spread of oracles that I don't often use and that are saying all of it. And I will start with this card, Heaven on Earth. Number 11, by the way. All are invited. Fifth dimension, new earth, spirit and matter. This is coming through very strongly, this theme of spirit and matter. Spiritualized matter, new life, sparkles, bedding in the light, ether and matter. Here we have kind of a twin flame energy as well, with two infinity symbols, with a divine masculine, a divine feminine. And this calls to anyone who is on the twin flame journey, but as well anyone, whether you're in a relationship or not. It seems that truly this duality that we have been into and we live into, right? This world, this manifested world is dual. There's night and day, there's the sun and the moon. The gender, the feminine gender, the masculine gender. But we're getting into a point where we can no longer be fighting in between, right? And that also calls to the mind that is very dual. We are asked to get into this heart mind where we are at the 0 point, at this neutral point. In Pisces, it's very important for you this year, because it truly feels that you can no longer perceive the world as what you see with your physical eyes, wherever you are, wherever you stand. You need to see the world from within. So that means that the world that you're gonna be nurturing within you, which is the light, the love, the dreams that you have, the purity of your heart, which is not trying to egoically do things for itself, that is of service, that wants to give, generosity, true compassion that we talked about. If you truly get into that field, that vibration, that high frequency vibration, which is very creative, and we'll see there's that creativity, inspiration coming through. If you get into that flow, this is the heaven on earth we're talking about. This is the heaven on earth we're talking about, this fifth dimension. So it's actually a state of consciousness. It's not physical per se. It is a shift, like a magical perceptive shift, where everything is at the 0 point, where there's no judgment, where there's no fight, but there's solely focus, inner focus, which brings out the divine within you that manifests through you, whatever it needs to manifest. In the chaos, in the confusion that we are going through, personally and collectively, we're asked to, with a lot of pressure right now, tension, we're asked to let it all go from exhaustion because we can't figure it out. And because we can't figure it out, that's the beauty of it. We will let it manifest itself through us. Right? So the spiritualized matter is that it's not the matter that is most important. It's the spirit within the matter. It's the spirit within you. It's not you as a physical, personal, personality, ego that it matters with all your traumas, everything. Yeah, they're looked at, they're felt because we're learning a lot right now, but it's bringing you to the understanding that you're more than that. You're more than that. That brings up this new life, literally. If we can master this, be in this higher frequency, 2023 will be a projection of the light within us, of this beauty that we want to manifest, that we want to let manifest through us. That's better to say. So the sparkles is the sparkles of joy, of love that we need to nurture here and bed solely in the light. It's a choice, Pisces. In this way, you let go completely of the old paradigm. Take the next step, stepping stones. It's time to take the next step. And how you do so right now, we have this card Restore, time out for you, nature, shamanic signs. We still have, Mars in retrograde, right, in Gemini. And so that's still asking us to slow down, go within, prepare ourselves for 2023, where we're going to have all planets direct. Well, things are going to start to move, especially by the end of January. By March, we'll see results, and May definitely, right? So the first 6 months of 2023 are so crucial, but it's going to get moving, Pisces. So you need to be ready spiritually, emotionally. You need to be stable and have learned the lessons of this year of 2022. It's inner force, inner strength, and it's your own psychological, emotional, physical stability that is at play here. So if you can be an anchor, you will be a light for others next year. All right? So very crucial for you to, once and for all, concentrate, focus, internalize the new you, the new way of being, of seeing. Okay? And so you have here well of dreams, creation, visions, messages, dissolve the veil, starting to see clearly, right? Bliss, dreams. So a lot of dream activity could be happening, visions, clarity, things are coming up to the surface like we channeled before. So allow it. Allow it. And to allow it again, you need to not doubt yourself. You can't be in the ego, self-sabotage, destructive mode. All this is gone. You need to be that anchor, solid. Whatever occurs internally, externally, you always have that place, that space that you know is your higher frequency. and that only you know that for yourself. It's an experience, right? It's not something that you believe in. It's an experience. That's yoga, okay? So remember how the last reading we talked about this choice that you have, Kali, between fear and love. How are you going to be living between fear and love? You know, oh, and underneath we have surrender. I'm seeing that right now. That's it. What are you going to choose to surrender to? And truly, love is surrendered to. When you don't surrender, you are in fear because you are in control. But especially in this Capricorn season right now, we're learning to not be in control. We can't be in control anymore. Okay? So it's this new way. New know you, right? Anchor yourself paradoxically into this nothing. This is your stability, your strength. So we were talking about creativity, laughter, inspiration. Look at all those cards. They're here. And so there's music, there's writing that came through as well here. They're saying here, it's in Spanish, so I will be translating a little bit slowly. You have to keep your knowledge and your information by writing it down. So journaling, whatever, if you're writing a book, a blog, let yourself be creative and don't judge any of it. We talked about not judging anybody else, but it's about also not judging yourselves. That's very important. Let it flow. You can't control. If you start controlling, you get in the way and you don't let the divine flow through you. So it's like a cut, a burn. Whenever your old ways, old behaviors come back, or obsessive behaviors, I don't know, whatever it is, attachment, we'll see that later, you have to cut it. There's no other way. It's like in the moment you cut and you move on. Don't think about it. There's no thought here. And all that laughter, creativity, inspiration comes after this grief and death and rebirth. And you might have been feeling this week, grief, sadness, moments of very emotional panic or anxiety because of a lot of pressure perhaps happening, overwhelm. But this is because it's pushing us to this rebirth, because we need to die to parts of ourselves, to ways of ourselves. And what is coming through very much so is the need to forgive. Where was that? Yeah, here. So that's the card of the kid that has pain, how do you say? That has, in French is blessure, but it would be wounds, what exactly? So wounds. They say here that you need to awaken the compassion and the wish to serve to other kids, but it could be humans, right, that are wounded. It could be someone in your family, your friend, anyone. But it's only when you open the path that drives you towards learning forgiveness, that you can do that. So what does that mean? How can you open this path to forgiveness, to learning forgiveness? If you have grudges still, if you have wounds that haven't been healed within you, if you still have anger, it's very subtle here. We're talking about subtle things. If you have escaped, escaped a relationship that, without a real closure, or without confronting the person, or feeling it in your heart that really definitely you don't feel that betrayal or that pain with this person. Only when you feel that that's healed within you, and you get into that strength and the openness also to see perhaps your faults. You know, we all have, there's no fault on anyone. It's just taking accountability on our actions, behaviors. And perhaps now you're at a point where you're more mature and you can see things more clearly. And so once you get into that strength, you're able to then help others. Sometimes we're not able to help someone because we feel too much like them, or we still have the trigger, you know, emotionally as a mirror, the trigger painful things that we still carry. So it's our responsibility right now to actually heal this within us. Okay? Because if you resist that, you can't go forward. You can't move beyond all of that. This could call very much so to, you know, the abandonment issue that we've talked about, Pisces. We have here the kid again. So we're talking a lot about the inner child, the orphan. So we're learning here to be independent, to base the values solely for our own self, and what we believe in and what we are is independently who we are. It has nothing to do with anyone else. We don't depend on anyone else. And they're talking also about no longer having the fear of, to survive. So, you know, the very basic element, the animal element of the human is I have to survive. And so there's the fear economically. It could be also because it's very unstable right now for us. So we can get into the fear mode of what is going to happen, right? And doubt and depression and sadness. But here we're asked to choose love. Choose is not like a woo-woo thing. It's truly trusting right now. We need to trust and see that there can be creative solutions that can be found actually to perhaps make money differently or whatever. That not have the worst case scenario mode thinking here. You know, that things actually can be okay, will be okay, but you have to allow God, the divine, to give you the insights, your higher self, to be creative and find the solutions. In this way, you can't behave or be as you've had in the past, or how you have been in the past. You can't repeat the same patterns, the same way you've been doing things and being. So that's the shift. And definitely being independent, Pisces. You can't, here they were talking about, you know, how sometimes we attach to people because we can attach to their darkness as well, but that's just reminding us of our own darkness. Perhaps we are with them because we have fear of being alone, for example, or we feel that independently alone we can't make it. So all those things need to be looked at very with sobriety, right? We need to really face those internal issues, so that you don't repeat, you know, toxic patterns in a relationship, for example. There needs to be independent space between the two. Yes, they join their union, but there's also two individuals that need to be recognized as that is. And so here again, we're talking about this compassion. You have the archetype of the angel and the lawyer. So the angel has to do with helping people that are in need, without hoping that you have something in exchange, right? So that's pure compassion. But also as well, the aspect that is a bit more negative here of this archetype is, you know, sometimes you can, at the surface, be very innocent or angelic, but that could be masking some wounds or jealousy or behaviors of possessivity or control that haven't been dealt with within you, and those need to be looked at, Pisces. Okay? And again, here for the lawyer, you have what inspires you to put into practice your compassion. So it's no longer about judging anyone else or getting into the negative mode of gossip or just criticizing, but instead getting into compassion for your own self, because if you are criticizing so much, that means that you have wounds that haven't been looked at again. Those need to be healed within first. It's not about pointing the finger at the other. It really is about us right now. We need to take accountability. And it's beautiful because this is helping us see clearly. You have the detective archetype here. You have big powers here of observation and intuition. The wish to discover the truth. And so we are seeing the truth here. We are seeing the truth. But we need to allow ourselves to see it for what it is without judging any elements of it. Okay? So this is the time to be more the detective of your inner world, not so much of looking at everything that is wrong outside. Okay? So that's pretty much it, Pisces. I feel it's very, very profound, this message, and it's very important also. It feels like it's the ultimate, moments of this last year, the end of the year, where we need to look at those for what they are, those traumas, pains, wounds, and see them for what they are so that we can let them go and get into this higher consciousness, into this unity, into this beautiful heaven on earth that we can create for the next year. Okay? Slowly but surely. So be good to yourself, Pisces. I love you, and I will see you very soon. Happy New Year. Take care. Bye-bye.